Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and the game we're going to talk about today is Dragon Quest X Version 3 Lore of the Ancient Dragon, which is the second expansion to Dragon Quest X. Alright, so the second expansion of Dragon Quest X introduces a brand new world, Nadragand, the land of the dragons, and a new dragon race, which you sadly can't play as. And now my biggest gripe with version 3 is, if you weren't really a fan of the repeated music from Dragon Quest XI, 95% of the music here in version 3 is recycled from the other games. Yeah, it's kind of like Square Enix didn't want to pay Sugiyama for extra music, so they decided to recycle a lot of the classic Dragon Quest tunes, and while they do sound cool here, I would have preferred that they had original music for version 3. I mean, I love the song Remembrances from Dragon Quest VIII, but if I hear it one more time during a sad scene in Dragon Quest X. And in order to start Dragon Quest X version 3, you need to have finished versions 1 and 2 and have the 10 key emblems from version 1. And just like last time, we will be getting into spoiler territory, so if you don't want spoilers, that's cool, but I do recommend sticking around. So we start off version 3, celebrating in Grand Zedora after the defeat of Mata Segura. And this time we board the Grand Titus for the rest of the celebration, and we have a dream about our sibling. Yeah, you know, since Claus revealed himself to be Shin-E, it would be nice to see my sibling again. It would be like a family reunion of some sorts. So we're talking with brave Princess Anne Lucia, and we see a guy named Zion talking to her, which is actually the Pegasus Falcon in human form. And he hands Anne Lucia a necklace. So we get dressed in the celebration in a nice suit, and we also see Anne Lucia dress up. Ooh, she looks really hot there. And then we see our old pals from version 1. Hey, how's it going, Prince Ragus? Hey, how's my badass samurai elf, King Nikoroi? And as Anne Lucia is dancing with Zion, King Arios is contemplating that Thomas would have been proud to see his sister grow. But then suddenly a storm erupts at sea, and then after that we see Prince Raguis and Anne Lucia get kidnapped by our sibling! You're alive! You're alive, and you have a really cool outfit, but you're alive! And using a mysterious cube, your sibling vanishes. After all this time, we had this chance to be a reunited sibling! And then we see a vision of the Abyss Gate once more. Sadly, we're not able to give chase because Zion can't fly because he gave his necklace to Anne Lucia, so he can't transform back into the Pegasus Falcon. And after all the kidnappings, Queen Diore asks us to come to Veronard right away. So we go to Veronard, and then we see Swordsman Fuser assisting Prince Otis. But however, their hair colors are a bit different. I wonder why though. And after that we talk to Wetty Burt Reynolds. I love how there's a Burt Reynolds lookalike both for the ogres and the Wetties. So we get assaulted by ghosts, and after defeating them, Prince Otis addresses the people of Veronard, and we see this mysterious hooded figure. And then after that we have a nice dinner with the Wetties. Yeah, I'm totally up for some seafood if you guys eat that. And later on, Advisor Eligo advises us that a slate was found at the Gerudo ruins, and those ruins are under investigation. So we go to the ruins, and then we see the traitor Kazlin, up to no good! Who have you teamed up with now, Kazlin, the dog-hating traitor? We don't need the dog to sniff you out. And then we see the mysterious hooded figure, and then we have to end up fighting a boss. So we beat the boss, but sadly the hooded figure kidnaps Prince Otis, and then Kazlin gets away. You're not getting away this time! Come back here! I'm not finished with you! Damn! Alright then. And then we find out the slate was actually a trap to kidnap Prince Otis. But however, Prince Otis was actually in disguise as Fuser. So they technically kidnapped Fuser and not Prince Otis. So sensing a pattern, we know that our friends are in danger, so we go back to the dwarf continent of Dotraka in order to get a transmitter to find out where our friends went. But then after that, the hooded figure captures Dustin's daughter, Cheery! But the good news is we're able to rescue her. And we also do find out that Dustin was the original target. Wonder why they're kidnapping our friends now. So we go to the elf continent of Eltona to check up on Fura, and Fura is going through a ceremony now that she succeeded her mother as a Wind Rider. And there's been talk about evil beings going around because, you know, our friends are being kidnapped. And Fura needs to find a holy jug that's buried under Sui Tower. So once we go underground to Sui Tower, we actually have 300-second intervals to escape the underground waterway, which is basically 5 minutes. And I've barely made it out of this one, trust me. So we go back to the site of the ceremony, then Fura gets kidnapped, and we're warned not to mess with the vessel of God. So apparently this hooded figure is kidnapping our friends in order to make them the new vessel of God. Which God though? So we go back to Longo Village on the ogre continent of Augreed, and it was ravaged by a demon attack that left Chief Cliffglen aka Ogre Burt Reynolds in a critical state. So after looking for a frozen herb to cure his wounds, we find out the sad truth that Miley isn't exactly his biological daughter, but his adopted daughter. Yeah, kind of like Cheery and Dustin, so there's a big theme of adoption here in Dragon Quest X. But then the demons come back and say Miley's now the vessel of God! Hey, you know what? I beat Nelgel and I beat Modest Agora. What am I, chopped liver? And then we fight a whole bunch of dragons. Yes, fighting dragons in a Dragon Quest game. So we finally unmask the hooded figure and he's revealed to be Antero of the dragon race. So after we defeat Antero, a recovered Chief Cliffglen pulling off his Burt Reynolds foo engages in battle with Antero, but sadly Antero escapes. And then we're told to go back to Grand Zadora Castle. So back at Grand Zadora, we're told to go to the Hidden Dragon Village, and then Zion actually gives us a puppet of himself to keep in communication with us. Hello, this is me, Zion. We got to rescue Princess Anne Lucia. Hello. So once we go to the Hidden Dragon Village, we actually meet up with Chief Olgen, who looks like Dragon Keanu Reeves. Whoa.
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 Dude, you found the Hidden Dragon Village. Dude.
And Olgen is actually Claus's grandfather.
Yeah, Claus is my grandson. Dude, he knows Kung Fu.
So once we get back to the Abyss Gate, it is now known as the Naraku Gate. We see Antero send Fura and Fuser through the portal, and then after that we battle Antero in his dragon form and finally defeat him. But before he dies, he actually crushes the Dragon Holy Mark which seals up the gate. But luckily, Chief Olgen, aka Dragon Keanu Reeves, comes back and opens the gate for us with his Holy Dragon Mark.
Dudes, it's time to open the gate to Nadragand, home of my dudes, the dragons. Just remember this one rule. Be excellent to all dragons, dude. And remember, you're breathtaking, dude.
And thus ends version 3.0. So at the Naraku Gate, we're all ready to go. Then after that, Dustin and Miley come in an anti-gravity device to assist us in rescuing our friends. Alright, this is gonna be a team effort, guys. So we all warp to the land of Nadragand, which is the land of the dragons, and then we're all separated, and then we see this giant bird float above us. So we wake up at Apica Village, and we're tended by Priestess Estella.
Awake, I see. Are you all right? I am Estella of the Nadraga Order. It's not common we get visitors here in the realm of Nadragand.
Is it wrong that I have a massive crush on the hot dragon priestess? And Apica Village looks a lot like Skyrim in a way.
Oh, silly Ryan. This doesn't look like Skyrim at all. Then again, this game has been released on nearly the same amount of consoles, even back on the Nintendo Wii, so you may have a point there.
And thanks to Estella, we're welcomed into the village, and we gotta make a prayer at a nearby shrine. But then after that we see an injured young dragon man named Gita, who was actually trying to stop the bird from earlier, so we bring him back to the village so he can recover. So Gita tells us that his brother Rosero was trying to sing a song with the feather of the magic bird, and the bird was originally a sacred bird that protected the land. So we go to the Valley of Purgatory and fight the bird, and then after that Gita plays the harp and Estella sings the song, which restores power to the holy bird and it protects the land once more. So after this we go to the holy city of Ejarna, so we can attend the Nadraga Order with Principal Orstov. So Principal Orstov says that all the dragons need to unite in order to fight the evil that's covering Nadragand. And we learned about the dragon worlds of ice, darkness, water, and storms. And Orstov knows that we're the ones who defeated Nelgel and Modest Agora. Yep, that was me, man. That was me. I got the clout. Don't wear it out. So Principal Orstov asks us to help him out. So in order to travel to the other worlds of Nadragand, we have to go to these towers and get the discs in order to open the portals. So we see a flashback of Estella's past and how her family was actually killed by the Black Plague and she was raised by Orstov to become a priestess. So we go to the first trial on the Featherwreathus Mountain, and then after that we go to the Tower of Flame, and this is where you're gonna get really sick of hearing a remixed version of the Dragon Quest II tower music. Like, oh my god, you are really gonna get sick of it here. At the time this game was released, we had another 9 mainline games to borrow tower music from. So I don't know why they kept repeating the Dragon Quest II tower music here. Like, I would have liked to hear the funky Dragon Quest 3 and 4 tower musics here. And holy crap, each of these towers has their very own gimmick and are pretty complicated to get through. I mean, they're not super difficult, but you're going to be spending quite a bit of time navigating these towers. So once we get to the top of the tower, we see one of the dragon priests, Tobias, try to subdue the flame demon but fails. So after we defeat it, we get the disc to travel on to the next world, and Estella is convinced that we are the legendary liberator who will save Nadragand. That's right, my hot dragon priestess, anything to impress you. And thus ends version 3.1. So after having a nice dragon meal with Estella, we go to Ether Village and then we see Dustin being treated like a god! All hail King Dustin, master of awesomeness! Or like we said earlier, Dustin might be one of the vessels for God. But however, the village is suffering from a food crisis, and we see a little dragon girl named Rosella come to see Dustin, and she has the power to absorb the energy of anyone she touches, which leads her to getting bullied. So the village mayor Norgrid asks us to go to the Avira ruins in order to collect some magic ore to revive the Tree of Grace. But however, Dustin ran away from the village because he didn't want to be treated like a god. Oh, come on, Dustin, you know how awesome you are. But he was actually hiding in a secret place with Rosella, but then he gets captured. So we go to the Carol Ice and Snow Cave, which is connected to the Tree of Grace, and Rosella starts absorbing the energy of the root that's actually keeping Dustin captive. But then after that, we end up fighting Evil Frosty the Snowman. So after we melt Evil Frosty the Snowman, Rosella begins to fall. Oh no, not Rosella! Dustin grabs her regardless of his energy being absorbed, but however, Dustin is holding the magic ore which allows us to float and we're able to make our escape. That's why Dustin is awesome. But then we see another hooded figure who looks like Antero from before. So the tree is revived with Rosella's power, and then she's finally accepted as one of the members of the village and she's not bullied anymore. And then after that, the path to the ice tower is open. Alright, so we go to the ice tower, and then Zion contacts us with his puppet that we need to go back to Astoltia and fight 3 Pukuripo bosses, who are actually gigantes using mushrooms as weapons. Hey, Mario ain't got nothing on us, boys! And also a Green King Hydra. So after beating those bosses, we scale the tower, we beat the boss, and then we get the disc to advance to the next world. Thus ending 3.2. So 3.3 begins in the Land of Darkness. And the Land of Darkness is actually covered in both darkness and poison, and then we see a young dragon boy named Sage actually rescuing Miley from the poison. Because earlier Miley landed in the Land of Darkness and was actually protecting Sage from something. So after that we go to Kalamora Village, and then the village elder is using the power of the moon to help Miley recover from her sickness. But however, opening the ceiling for the moonlight actually exposes Kalamora to all the demons flying outside. Oh my god, close it! Close it right now! So Sage wants to be able to raise the power of the moon without fearing the demons, so he actually suggests that we go to the Door of Paradise, which is close to the village. But however, it doesn't open up and the elder says it's very dangerous. But Sage still wants to repay Miley for protecting him. So the elder does give in and says that the key to the Door of Paradise is actually in the Shadow Valley. So we go inside the Door of Paradise, and then we're introduced to this very futuristic looking world that's unlike anything that we've ever seen before in a Dragon Quest game. I thought having the car as a dollar board was kind of going too far, Dragon Quest 9 had the train, but yeah, now we're heading into Star Wars territory. And also, this is the part of the game where you actually have to input things in Japanese in order to actually get through. So we see the robot management terminal Q484, and it welcomes us, saying that it needs to repair its purification system. So the management terminal says that the moon was originally destroyed and it actually crashed into paradise. And the management terminal was actually going to repair the moon, but then we get attacked by the demons from earlier. So the management terminal says we can repair the moon with a material called Sulva Fallon, and then Zion in his puppet form appears again, saying that Sulva Fallon can be found 500 years back in the past. So we go back into the past in our human form and we're reunited with Urge and Foster. And they say that the evil demon, Sulfa Balu, has the Sulfilvin that we need. So once we get the Sulva Fallon, we go back to the present, and then we see our sibling attacking Miley! No, sibling, don't do that! But then Estella fends off our sibling and warns us that more evil is coming. Ooh, thanks Estella. You're the best. So we go back to Paradise and give the maintenance terminal Sulva Fallon, and then it says it's going to start the repair process of the moon, but then it sees us as intruders and attacks us. You are illegally parked in an unauthorized zone. You have 10 seconds to comply. Because its next directive was actually to kill the dragons of the Dark Realm, so it was going after Sage. Hey, wait, he's just a kid! So after we defeat the maintenance terminal, we go back to Kalamora village, and then we see Miley's fully recovered because of the new moon. And so we see Tobias and Principal Nadia, and they suspect the poison that was used by Antero actually came from the realm of darkness. So Principal Nadia is actually able to use the antibodies in Miley's body in order to produce a cure. But then, in another emotional Dragon Quest moment, because there's so many of them, Sage runs away in tears and reveals that his sister was lost to the poison, but Miley thanks him because if it wasn't for him, she would actually be dead. Then after that they hug and thank each other. It's so sweet, man. So we go back to Paradise, we see another replacement robot. Okay, don't kill us this time, please. And he says the purification of Earth is going to take another 5,491 years, so we should be okay for a while. Whew. Then we finally go to the Tower of Darkness. So inside the tower, we learn from the dwarven god Waji that the dragons of the Dark Realm once lived in Paradise, but they were too aggressive and militant with each other, and were almost going to use the poison of their realm in order to attack the other races of Astoltia. But however, they lost that battle, and that resulted in the Dark Realm being cursed with poison. And dwarven god Waji accepts that we're trying to make things right and lets us proceed. Oh hey, I think I ended up in the wrong room. I probably should have quit while I was ahead. So we fight the boss of the tower with Estella, and then after that we get the disc. So we activate the portal, and then we fight a boss that looks like Don Mold called Pachatika, and this fight with him was actually a test, and then he tells us to go to the Land of Water, thus ending version 3.3. So version 3.4 begins as we arrive on this island, which looks like a very nice place to vacation at. So we examine this tablet about the story about these dragon ghosts, who just want to ascend into the afterlife in peace. So after we help them go back into the afterlife, we examine some dust and then we're covered in a giant water bubble, which actually brings us down beneath the ocean and we can actually breathe! Under the sea, under the sea. So we're able to explore the underwater realm, and then we go to the city of Ruska. And sadly we can't enter the Holy Water Tower because it was sealed by the priestess named Fina. And Fina is unable to speak after hearing the name Nadraga, because Nadraga is actually the god of disaster. And the people of Ruska are saying that Principal Orstov is a fool for serving Nadraga, and it actually incites a fight with Tobias. So Tobias is actually about to get into a fight with Ficus, one of the guards, but then after that they're both stopped by the badass Fuser! And Fuser says after we got separated at the gate, he was able to actually explore the underwater realm, and was able to escape Antero's captivity, and he's helping Fina. So Fuser tells us that we actually need to cut ties with the Dragon Clan because they're worshipping Nadraga, who's actually really bad, and that we should help the Blue Knights of Ruska. But however, Fina disappears and then we have to go to the Gaios Ocean to find her. So we go to the Gaios Sea and then we see this ship that's entangled by a gigantic octopus, and luckily this time we don't have to fight it like in most Dragon Quest games where you have to fight a really giant octopus. So once we drive off the octopus, Fuser says that he wants to help Fina because Fina says that the cult of Nadraga is actually plotting something evil, and that left Fina unable to speak. So we fight the boss, Abyss Fish Kuros, who actually looks a lot like Grey Coast from the past Dragon Quest games. And then after that, the black hooded figure comes back and places a curse on Fina, saying that the dragon tribe is going to perish. Oh no. So once we go back to Ruska, we find out that Fina is in very grave condition from the curse. And we need to get the rainbow palm fruit that was actually from an island that was swallowed ages ago back in Astoltia. So we go back to the ocean near Grand Zadora, and we find this island that kinda looks like an Xbox symbol, but then we realize it's actually the belly of Bjorn from Dragon Quest V! Hey, how's it going, Bjorn? And Bjorn says he has a lot of stomach pain because he actually swallowed a treasure. Yeah, Bjorn, I think swallowing treasure tends to give you really bad indigestion. And we pretty much assume the rainbow palm fruit is inside that treasure box that he swallowed, so we basically have to go inside Bjorn's belly. So Dragon Quest X has Vor in it! Yes! My friend Allie was freaking out when she got to this part and was complaining, "There's so much Vor in Dragon Quest X!" So after we fight the evil bacteria inside Bjorn's belly, we work better than any antacid. So we get the rainbow palm fruit from the treasure, and then we meet Bjorn's son Boone. So Bjorn finally feels relieved that he doesn't have treasure box indigestion, so we go back to Ruska with Boone and the fruit. So after Fina recovers, we realize that her sickness actually caused the barrier on the water tower to get weakened, and Tobias actually took that as an opportunity to actually get the disc from the tower. You know, Tobias, you should have really waited for us. So after we reach the top of the tower, after doing a little fishing, we see Tobias on the ground and we actually have to fight the boss, Divine Beast Kashal. So after we defeat it, we actually find out that Fina was actually the true form of the Divine Beast Kashal. Plot twist! She couldn't talk, but she's actually this Divine Beast. So we find out that Fina became the Divine Beast Kashal in order to prevent Nadraga from actually taking over the Dragon Realm because he's a bit of a dictator. And Tobias can't actually believe this, and Principal Nadia says that Fina is a traitor and she must be tossed into the sea! Into the sea she must be tossed! So we refuse, and Nadia says, "You're not actually the liberator, you're traitors!" So they advance to the next world without us. So we go back to the castle, and Fina actually tells us that she used to be a princess from a nearby kingdom, which was ravaged by disaster and her people were suffering, and so she sought help from Divine Beast Kashal and agreed to become his vessel. So after that, Divine Beast Kashal gave Fina and her people the means to live underwater. So they can live under the sea, under the sea. So Zion talks to us once again with his puppet and actually reveals that he used to be a beast of the god Zenith, so probably a tie to Dragon Quest 4 through 6, the Zenithian trilogy, maybe, and was told not to tell us the truth about Nadraga until now. So now we gotta stop the resurrection of the evil god Nadraga, thus ending 3.4. So now we go to the final realm in Nadragand, the Storm Realm. And we go to the city of Moost, and we're reunited with our pal Claus. And Claus tells us that the Nadraga clan is moving and they're kidnapping our friends in order to make them vessels for Nadraga. And so we're reunited with brave Princess Anna Lucia in a badass hot pirate outfit. And Prince Raguas as they escape the Nadraga cult. So we travel the Storm Realm to find the rest of the vessels, and then after that we see Estella and 2 dragon guards carrying out Fura, saying that she needs to be one of the vessels and you cannot stop this ceremony.
Ryan, do you intend to take this girl away? Do you not realize the path to salvation is to make her a vessel so we can revive Lord Nadraga?
Estella, I don't think this relationship's gonna work out, so I think we need to start seeing some other people.
I'm sorry, Ryan, but I must stop you here. Now face my true power!
Are you prepared?
But then sadly we're forced to fight Estella, but then we're accompanied by brave Princess Anna Lucia who comes to our aid, and then we have to fight Estella in her dragon form! Oh wow, Estella's still hot in her dragon form. So after we defeat Estella, we rescue Fura, and Estella goes back to normal saying that she regrets serving the Nadraga cult. And so we go back to the town of Moose, and then Fuser gets taken over by an unknown force, and then we gotta fight him. So after knocking Fuser back to his senses, the evil hooded figure comes back and then he kidnaps Anna Lucia, Fuser, and Fura, and then he reveals that he's actually Principal Nadia! Wait a minute, you're the traitor then! So we go to the final tower, the Storm Tower, and holy crap, look at this place. If you thought Dragon Quest dungeons were pretty insane, this place is gonna drive you pretty nuts. So we get to the top of the tower, then Tobias is injured once again fighting the boss, and after we beat the boss, Estella tends to his wounds and convinces Tobias to fight on our side. So we travel through all of Nadragand with our pal Claus, now in his form of Shin-E, to find the rest of the vessels. So we go back to the holy city of Edjarna in order to confront Principal Orstov, and Tobias takes us down to the dungeon where we fight Principal Nadia in his dragon form. And it's also revealed that Principal Nadia wants to fight us to get revenge for his brother Antero! I knew you were both working in cahoots, you hooded hoodlums! So after we defeat Principal Nadia, the last thing he sees in an emotional moment is Estella as a child that he helped raise, and then dies. So we go deeper into the dungeon, we see Orstov and Lucia and our sibling on the ground, and just as we're about to get any further, we're stabbed in the back by a huge scorpion tail, which actually belongs to Principal Orstov! So many plot twists in so little time! So technically we've died 3 times now because we're actually revived by Princess Anna Lucia, Prince Raguas, Fuser, and a whole bunch of our friends. So once we're revived, everybody celebrates, but it's short-lived as Orstov comes back and steals the Holy Seal, which is actually the heart of the Dragon God, which is needed to revive Nadraga. So Zion contacts us saying that we need the power of the 6 gods in order to fight Nadraga in the ancient city of Nadragand. So we go to the ancient city of Nadragand and we solve the puzzle of the 6 gods. And then after that we fight Principal Orstov now in a scorpion form. Yeah, that backstabber. So after we defeat Orstov, Nadraga is revived! Oh no! And then after that we see this big kaiju battle between Bjorn and Nadraga. Go Bjorn, you were awesome in your story, man! So now we're reunited with Claus and our sibling, and it's just like old times back at Ethine, me, Shin-E, and our sibling. So we go inside Nadraga's body. Yes, there's more Vor in this game, although his insides are a lot more cleaner than Bjorn's. And we find the Grand Zenith Sword of Condemnation that once defeated Nadraga and has the memories of the 6 gods. So we find out that Nadraga was actually the 7th god, and was the brother of the goddess Lutaena. But Lutaena actually died in the battle with the darkness, so Nadraga went mad and said all the races must follow the dragon race. So basically he wants to be a dragon dictator. So he battled the 6 other gods and was defeated. But after he was defeated, he made a deal with the darkness in order to seal Nadragand. And so we're entrusted by the 6 gods in order to defeat Nadraga for good. So Estella is sealed away inside Nadraga's body as a vessel and we need to free her. Yes, we're gonna rescue you, my love. So we fight Nadraga in a very, very intense battle, and Nadraga is the biggest Dragon Quest boss yet, even bigger than Uzaru Nelgil. And after this battle, we use both Estella and Claus's dragon forms to escape. And then after that, we see Principal Orstov's spirit have a change of heart, and he helps us with our escape. So I guess Orstov wasn't exactly a bad dude after all. A bit misguided, but he's still a good dude. But however, a mysterious hand comes out and takes Nadraga's heart and then escapes. So now we have a celebration at the city of Ejarna, and then the Nadraga cult becomes the Nadragand Cooperative, which will help all the dragons live in peace, and unite all the members of the dragon race.
Ryan, thank you for all your help in bringing the lands of Nadragand and Estoltia together. I hope that one day Dragon Quest X will be localized for the West. By the way, did you treat yourself to a slushie? The tastiest in all of Nadragand!
So Tobias becomes the new leader, Estella goes to Estoltia to live in Balar village, and Claus goes back to rebuild Ethine village, and then we're reunited once again with our sibling for a very short time before our sibling fades away for good. So all this time our sibling was fighting for the wrong side, but eventually went to the side of good with us. But however, your sibling does leave behind a silver cube. And then we see this mansion with this young lady who looks a lot like Bulma from Dragon Ball, and version 3 comes to an end. So Dragon Quest X version 3 Lore of the Ancient Dragon, the second expansion to Dragon Quest X. So how does it compare to the first 2 parts? Well, I have to say, even though part 3 is good, it does suffer from a lot of repetition, especially in the music and the structure of the story. Like, it's pretty much, go to a realm, solve a problem, go to this tower, fight the boss, and rinse and repeat. And the story wasn't exactly as emotionally gripping as versions 1 and 2. I mean, there's still a lot of good emotional parts in version 3, but they didn't quite tug at the heartstrings just like versions 1 and 2. But the good news is, version 3 is probably the shortest of all the Dragon Quest X expansions. It probably took me a bit under 40 hours to complete. I think I beat it like around 35 hours. But however, it is a worthy addition to the Dragon Quest X saga, and I highly recommend it. And also, Estella is really hot. So if you want to play Dragon Quest X version 3 Lore of the Ancient Dragon, sadly you can't play it on the Wii version anymore, but it is available in the current version 1 through 5 pack for all the consoles. Alright guys, so that ends this episode of awesome video game memories about Dragon Quest X version 3 Lore of the Ancient Dragon, and stay tuned for Dragon Quest X version 4 the 5,000 year journey to a faraway hometown. See you there. Hey everybody, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, especially subscribe, and make sure to click on that notification bell so you know when we release new videos, because YouTube's probably not gonna tell you. And if you want to see me play games live, make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/BattleGeekPlus, and if you have a Twitch Prime account, make sure to subscribe so you can get awesome perks like subscriber badges and much more. And if you want to support us, make sure to support us on patreon.com/Ryan Molina, because every dollar helps me bring you a better show. And also make sure to follow me on Twitter at @RyanMolina and at BattleGeekPlus. And also make sure to check out the official Battle Geek Plus website for a complete listing of our books, merchandise, t-shirts, and a lot more. Alright, thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out these other videos right here. Thanks and take care.